How frontier families built shelters to survive deadly blizzards. 3 hours of relaxing history. Hello guys. Today we will know about the quiet endurance of the frontier. We will travel back to the late 18th century, to the edge of the deep wilderness, where the wind carries the scent of pine and the coming frost. This narration is meant to help you relax, to help you settle into a deep and heavy sleep. As the snow begins to fall in our story, you may feel the warmth of your own blankets. There is a quiet mystery in the way the horizon vanishes into the white, a small suspense in the creak of the timber against the gale. But here, in this space, you are safe, you are warm, and the world is slowing down. The year is 1792. We find ourselves in a small settlement on the edge of the northern frontier. It is not a city of stone, but a collection of wooden shelters huddled against the vastness of the trees. The sun is a pale disk, sinking quickly behind the jagged peaks. The air is sharp and still. It smells of wood smoke and the promise of a long, cold night. The shadows are stretching across the clearing, reaching for the doors of the cabins, and you are becoming very, very tired. The paths between the cabins are narrow. They are packed earth and frozen mud. In the evening, a thick fog often rolls in from the nearby valley. It clings to the rough-hewn logs of the walls. There are no lamps here, only the faint, golden flicker of a tallow candle in a small window, or the orange glow of a hearth fire through a chink in the clay. The fog muffles the sound of the wind. Every step on the frozen ground is heavy. Every movement is slow. The world is turning gray and soft. The houses are small. They are cramped and humble. They are built of pine logs, notched at the corners and sealed with a mixture of mud and dried grass. Inside, the air is warm and thick with the scent of cedar. A large stone hearth occupies the center of the wall. The fire is never truly out. It is the heart of the home. The smoke rises slowly into the chimney, leaving a layer of soot that smells of the earth. The walls are dark, but the heat is honest. The floors are made of split logs, worn smooth by the passage of heavy wool socks. The family lives in a single room. They are close together. The warmth of one is the warmth of all. In the corner, a stack of firewood is kept dry. The logs are rough and bark-covered. They wait for their turn in the flames. The hearth is the only light now. It casts long, dancing shadows on the ceiling. The rhythm of the fire is a slow, steady pulse. People wear layers of coarse wool and animal skins. The wool is spun at home. It is thick and heavy. It smells of the hearth and the forest. They wear tunics over linen shirts and wool leggings tucked into deer-hide moccasins. The clothing is mended many times. It has the weight of a long season in its fibers. There is a comfort in the heaviness of the cloth. It protects against the draft that sneaks through the door. The movements of the family are slow. They do not waste energy. The meals are simple. They are warm and filling. A wooden bowl of hot porridge made from pounded corn, perhaps a bit of salted pork or a handful of dried berries. The steam rises in the cool room. It smells of salt and grain. There is hard bread baked on the hearthstone. It is dipped into the bowl to make it soft. The wooden spoon clicks softly against the wood. Click, click, click. It is a steady rhythm. It is a soothing sound in the quiet cabin. The children spend their days helping with the wood. They gather small branches and kindling from the edge of the clearing. Their small hands are wrapped in scraps of felted wool. They carry the wood back to the hearth. They tend to the water buckets, making sure the ice is broken at the surface. Their chores are quiet and constant. They learn the value of the fire early. They sit by the embers and watch the snow begin to drift. Work in the winter is a matter of survival. The men spend their hours splitting logs. The axe hits the wood with a rhythmic thud, thud, thud. The sound is absorbed by the deep snow. It is a heartbeat for the settlement. The wood is stacked high against the outer walls. It acts as insulation against the blizzard. The men work until the light fails. Then they bring the final load inside. They rake the coals and wait. The clearing is quiet in the winter. A few small wagons remain, their wheels frozen into the ruts of the earth. The horses are kept in a lean-to. Their breath clouds the air in thick bursts. The families trade dried venison for corn, or wool for iron nails. People speak in low tones. Their voices do not carry far in the heavy air. The exchange of goods is a silent agreement. Then they return to their own fires. Transport is nearly impossible in the deep drifts. Long wooden sleds are used to haul the largest logs. The oxen move slowly, their heads bowed against the wind. The world moves at the pace of a slow walk. There is no rush. There is no hurry. The wilderness demands patience. The blizzard demands stillness. You can feel the stillness in your own limbs. As you settle deeper into your bed, the evening begins with the bank of the fire. The largest logs are placed at the back, covered with ash to keep them glowing. This is the way the warmth is held. The cabin grows darker. The only light comes from the cracks in the ash. The smell of the cooling hearth is a sign of rest. The family gathers on the sleeping pallets. They lie close together. Their breathing is slow and synchronized. The beds are simple wooden frames filled with dried corn husks. The husks rustle softly as you lie down. It is a dry, crinkling sound. You pull a heavy buffalo robe up to your chin. It is thick and provides a protective weight. The cold air of the room touches your forehead, but your body is encased in warmth. The contrast is soothing. The cold makes the warmth feel deeper. The cold makes the sleep come faster. Outside, the blizzard is a vast, white wall. The trees in the forest groan under the weight of the ice. A branch snaps with a sound like a distant drum, but the sound does not disturb the cabin. The log walls are a barrier between the wild and the hearth. The wind howls through the pines, a long, low sound that fades and returns. The sound is lonely, but you are safe. You are warm in the heart of the timber. The nights are incredibly long. The darkness lasts for many hours. The people have learned to embrace the long night. They do not fight the dark. They rest within it. They dream of the spring, of the first thaw and the sound of the creek. But the dreams are slow and hazy, like the smoke rising from the chimney. The mind wanders through the silent woods, finding peace in the white. The clearing is now completely empty. The snow has covered the paths. The wind has smoothed the ruts. The settlement is a collection of white mounds. Only the thin lines of smoke tell of the life inside. The frost patterns on the windows are thick. They look like silver ferns. They look like lace. The world is a gallery of white and blue, and you are looking at it from the inside, from the warmth. The houses of the frontier are very small. They have no halls, only the single room. The floor is made of hard-packed earth or split logs. They spread fresh pine needles on the floor to provide a scent of the woods. The needles crunch underfoot. They are the carpet of the wilderness. They smell of resin and rain. They bring the forest inside. But the forest is quiet now. Clothing is never fully removed at night. A person might take off their heavy coat, but they sleep in their wool leggings and shirts. They wear thick wool caps to keep the heat from escaping. The blankets are often shared, children huddling under one large robe. The warmth of a brother or sister is the best defense. Their small heartbeats are a comfort in the dark. The morning will bring more snow to shovel, more wood to carry, but that is many hours away. The time between midnight and dawn is a sacred time. The world of the frontier is a world of cycles. The cycle of the sun and the cycle of the breath. You breathe in the pine-scented air. You breathe out the warmth. The rhythm is steady. The rhythm is slow. The secrets of the shelter are found in the small things. The way the mud dries in the cracks. The way the fire speaks and pops and hisses. The way the snow piles against the door. These are the facts of life for the ordinary family. They do not have much, but they have the hearth, and they have the shelter. The simplicity of their lives is a lesson in peace. There is nothing to distract them from the silence. As the narration continues, let your mind drift like the snow. Let the images of the log cabins and the deep woods fade. You are walking through the clearing in your mind. The snow is soft under your feet. You reach your door. You enter the warmth. You sit by the fire. You feel the heat on your hands. The world is closing in. The circle of light is getting smaller and smaller. The history of the frontier is a history of endurance. They endured the blizzards with a quiet strength. They did not complain to the trees. They simply kept the fire burning. They mended their robes. They shared their corn. They waited for the light, and as they waited, they slept a deep, dreamless sleep. You can share in that sleep now. The work is done. The fire is banked. The stars above the clearing are incredibly bright. Without the lights of the city, the sky is a sea of fire. The constellations are the maps of the night. The North Star hangs over the pines, a fixed point in a shifting world. The stars do not move. They only watch. They watch the sleeping cabins, and they watch you. The freezing wind picks up. It rattles the wooden door. It tries to find a way inside, but the pine is strong. The latch is secure. The wind is just a voice in the dark. It cannot hurt you. It only makes the blankets feel heavier. It only makes the palate feel softer. The sound of the wind is a lullaby, a rhythmic whistling that lulls the senses. It is the sound of the world breathing. The children are deep in sleep now, their chores forgotten. Their hands are tucked under their chins. They dream of summer berries and warm rain. The fire has faded to a few red eyes. The cabin is silent, save for the creaking of the timber. The timber moves as it cools, a slow, groaning sound. It is the house settling for the night. Just as you are settling, the trapper is asleep, the mother is asleep, the weaver is asleep, their tools are laid aside. The axe is still, the needle is dry. The settlement is a collective of resting souls. They are bound together by the cold and the dark. They are a community of breath, and in this community, there is no worry. There is only the passage of time, the slow, inevitable march toward the dawn. The snow continues to fall. It covers the tracks of the deer. It covers the woodpile. It covers the garden. It smooths out the rough edges of the world. It makes everything look clean. The snow is a blanket for the earth. It protects the seeds in the ground. It is a cold embrace, but a necessary one. The earth is sleeping too. The narration is slowing down. The words are becoming sparse. The images are blurring into a soft gray mist. The frontier of 1792 is drifting away into the pages of history, into the shadows of the past. You are left with only the feeling of the heavy robe, the scent of the wood smoke, and the rhythm of the breathing. The blizzard is brutal, but the sleep is kind. The ruts are hidden. The fire is ash. The wool is heavy. The night is long. The stars are bright. The wind is a sigh. The log is thick. The heart is warm. The world is safe. The dark is calm. The rest is here. The sleep is near. The people of the past knew how to rest. They knew how to let the night take them. They did not have the lights to keep them awake. They had only the natural rhythm of the earth, and that rhythm is within you. It is the pulse in your wrist. It is the rise and fall of your chest. It is the slow turning of the mind toward the dream. Follow that rhythm. Let it take you. The forest is silent. The creek is ice. The door is barred. The candle is out. The husks are soft. The cabin is still. The breath is slow. The time is now. The sleep is deep. The winter remains, but you are warm. You are safe. You are at peace. The streets of the mind are quiet. The narrow ways are empty. The fog has settled. The day is gone. The night is all. The silence is total. The sleep is coming, coming, coming. Now, the history of sleep is the history of us all. We all return to the dark. We all find the warmth. We all wait for the sun. But for now, the sun is a memory. The moon is the only light, and the moon is a silent companion. It shines on the frost. It shines on the snow. It shines on the sleeping world, and it shines on you. Sleep now, like the child on the pallet. Sleep now, like the trees in the snow. Sleep now, like the cabins in the clearing. The blizzard is long, but the rest is sweet. The history is told. The night is yours. The sleep is deep. The peace is total. The candles are gone. The embers are dim. The robes are thick. The cold is outside. The warmth is within. The breath is steady. The mind is calm. The world is far. The sleep is near. The wood is seasoned. The clay is dry. The roof is heavy. The snow is high. The hearth is quiet. The room is dark. The rest is certain. The sleep is a spark. The shadows are long. The fire is aglow. The wind is a song. The world is slow. The logs are sturdy. The door is tight. The rest is worthy. The sleep is right. The corn is stored. The water is clear. The work is ignored. The rest is here. The wool is coarse. The straw is deep. The night is the source of the beautiful sleep. The axe is leaning. The shed is cold. The day is meaning. The night is old. The stars are spinning. The earth is still. The sleep is winning, as it always will. The cabins are white. The smoke is thin. The stars are bright. The peace is within. The history is done. The night is deep. The battle is won by the power of sleep. The snow, the log, the dark, the rest, the sleep, the now. The voice continues to drift, each sentence slower than the last, until it is only a breath of sound in the darkness. The wind in the chimney, the rustle of the husks, the weight of the robe, the slow rise of the chest, the soft fall of the snow, the peace of the frontier, the history of rest, the sleep of the settlement, the sleep of the wilderness, the sleep of the soul. The fire is ash, the candle is out, the door is barred, the world is still, the breath is slow, the sleep is deep, the rest is now, 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 now. In the silence that follows, the image of the snowy cabin remains. A tiny, flickering point of warmth in a vast, blue-white world, where every living thing has found its place in the quiet, and the heavy blankets of history have been tucked in tight for the night. The scent of pine remains. The feeling of the heavy wood remains. The rhythm of the frontier remains. You are part of it. You are resting with them. You are breathing with them. The blizzard has passed. The world is white, and you are asleep. Hush, hush, hush. The narration enters a phase of pure repetition, using the same calming words and the same slow rhythm to ensure the listener remains in a state of deep relaxation. The snow falls, the snow falls, the snow falls, the silence grows, the silence grows, the silence grows, the heart slows, the heart slows, the heart slows, the sleep follows, the sleep follows, the sleep follows, the dark, the peace, the rest, the sleep, the snow, the log, the hearth, the breath, the now. The final minutes are a very slow, fading sequence of single words, spoken with long pauses in between, leading into a final total silence. Warmth, safety, dark, still, soft, deep, gone, rest, sleep, now, the first wagon of spring, a quiet awakening on the frontier. Hello, guys. Today we will know about the slow, gentle return of the world after the long winter of 1792. We have lived through the blizzards together. We have felt the weight of the heavy buffalo robes and the smell of the dying embers. But now, the earth is beginning to breathe again. This narration is meant to help you relax even further, to guide you into that soft, liminal space where the cold yields to the sun. There is a quiet suspense in the sound of the cracking ice on the creek, a small mystery in the first sight of the mud beneath the snow. But you are still safe. You are still resting, and there is no need to move. Let the warmth of the coming spring settle over you like a soft, golden veil. The year is 1793. The setting is the same small clearing on the edge of the northern wilderness. It is the very first morning of the thaw. The air is no longer sharp enough to bite. It is soft and damp, smelling of melting pine needles and the first hints of wet, dark earth. The sky is a pale, milky gray, the color of a dove's wing. The heavy, blue darkness of the winter is receding, moving back into the deep shadows of the forest, and you are feeling a deep, restful calm, as if the weight of the snow is melting away from your own limbs. The paths between the log cabins are no longer hidden under frozen drifts. The dark earth is beginning to peek through the slush. The mud is thick and rich, reflecting the faint, growing light of the dawn. The fog is different this morning. It is not the thick, frozen mist of the blizzard. It is a light, drifting vapor that rises from the warming ground. It moves like a ghost through the stumps of the clearing, brushing against the rough-hewn walls. Every sound is still muffled, but the silence feels lighter. It feels expectant. Inside the cabin, the ordinary people are stirring, but they move with the slow, heavy grace of those who have been in a long hibernation. There is no sudden movement, no loud voices. The young boy, Caleb, opens his eyes on his corn husk pallet. The air is cool, but the biting frost that once coated the blankets is gone. He listens to the sound of a single drop of water falling from the eaves. Drip, drip, drip. It is a rhythmic, musical sound. A tiny clock marking the end of the ice. He pulls his wool blanket tighter for one last moment of peace. The hearth is being coaxed back to life. The heavy layer of ash is scraped away to reveal the red embers that have lived through the night. The smell of the first fire of the spring is different. It is the scent of fresh kindling and damp cedar. The smoke rises in a straight, thin line through the stone chimney. It is a signal to the settlement that the day has begun, but the day is young, and the work can wait a little longer. The mother moves slowly, her long wool skirts brushing against the split log floor. She prepares the morning meal with quiet, steady hands. The meal is still simple, but it feels like a feast after the salt pork and dried corn of midwinter. There is a small bit of maple sugar, saved in a wooden box for the turn of the season. It is dark and grainy, smelling of the deep woods. It dissolves slowly on the tongue, a sweet reminder of the sap that is beginning to run in the trees. The family sits on their wooden stools, their shoulders relaxed, their hearts quiet. The heat of the fire is a gentle companion, no longer a desperate shield. The children are the first to hear it. It is a sound they have not heard for many months. The distant, rhythmic clop, clop, clop of hooves, and the slow, heavy creak of a wooden axle. It is the first supply wagon of the year. It is moving slowly through the mud of the valley road. The sound is faint, but it carries clearly through the still, damp air. It is a sound of connection, a sound of the world opening up. The children do not run. They simply stand at the door, watching the edge of the woods. The wagon appears slowly, a dark shape against the gray mist. It is pulled by two heavy oxen, their heads bowed, their muscles rippling under their coats. They move with a patient, deliberate plod. The driver sits high on the bench, wrapped in a worn-wool cloak. He does not shout at the beasts. He only speaks to them in a low, humming tone. The wagon is loaded with barrels of salt, sacks of seed grain, and perhaps a few iron tools. It is the lifeblood of the frontier, returning with the sun. The settlement wakes up in layers. First the dogs, who trot out to greet the oxen with wagging tails and soft huffs. Then the men, who step out of their cabins with their hands in their pockets. They watch the wagon approach with quiet satisfaction. There is no cheering, only a slow nod of the head. The arrival of the wagon is a fact of nature, as inevitable as the melting snow. The driver brings the team to a halt in the center of the clearing. The sound of the wheels stopping is a heavy, final crunch. The work of unloading is a slow and rhythmic task. The barrels are heavy. They are rolled down wooden planks with a deep, rumbling sound. Thump, roll, thump. The sacks of grain are carried on broad shoulders. The smell of the dry seed is earthy and hopeful. It is the promise of the coming harvest. The people move with a practiced, quiet efficiency. They speak of the weather, of the depth of the snow in the mountains, of the health of the livestock. Their voices are a low, soothing background to the morning. The clothing is still the same heavy wool, but the hoods are thrown back. The linen shirts are cleaner. The people feel lighter in their bodies, as if the air itself is lifting some of the burden from their shoulders. They walk with a bit more spring in their step, their moccasins making a soft, squelching sound in the mud. Squish, squish, squish. It is a satisfying sound, a sound of the earth becoming soft again, a sound of the frontier opening its heart. The secrets of the spring are hidden in the small details. The way the moss on the north side of the cabins looks greener, the way the creek has broken its icy shell, the water flowing dark and fast over the stones, the first crows returning to the high pines. Their caws are sharp and bright in the silence. These are the facts of 1793. The small, miraculous changes that mark the end of the endurance. The afternoon is spent sorting the seeds. The family gathers around the table, their fingers moving through the grains of corn and wheat. The sound of the seeds hitting the wooden bowls is like falling rain. Patter, patter, patter. It is a meditative task, a task of patience and hope. The sun breaks through the clouds for a brief moment, casting a long, pale beam of light across the floor. The dust motes dance in the air, a silent, golden ballet. The wagon driver stays for a meal of hot porridge and bread. He tells stories of the towns to the east, of the new buildings and the growing markets. The family listens with quiet interest, but they are content in their clearing. The wilderness is their home, and the spring has made it kind. The driver's voice is a steady, monotonous rumble, like the sound of the wagon wheels. It lulls the children into a midday nap, their heads resting on the table. The evening comes, and the light stays a little longer than it did the day before. The couvre-feu is not a law here, but the habit of the hearth remains. The fire is banked, The candles are extinguished, but the cabin does not feel as dark as it did in the blizzard. The moonlight is stronger, reflecting off the patches of remaining snow. The family lies down on their pallets. The sound of the thawing world is their lullaby. The children are deep in sleep. Their dreams are filled with the green shoots of the corn and the warmth of the sun on their backs. They do not hear the wind in the pines. They do not hear the distant howl of a wolf. They only hear the silence of a world that is safe, a world that is growing, a world that is waking up. The heavy buffalo robes are still there, but they feel lighter now. Like a warm embrace rather than a heavy shield, the narration is slowing once more. The light of the frontier spring is fading into the twilight of your own rest. The settlement is settling into its first warm night. The ice is gone. The wagon is at rest. The seeds are ready, and your mind is as clear and still as the mountain air. The history of the ordinary is a history of hope, and hope is a quiet thing. It is the sound of the sap rising in the maple. The mud is soft. The fire is low. The wool is warm. The night is new. The stars are gentle. The wind is a whisper. The log is steady. The heart is light. The world is waking. The dark is kind. The rest is here. The sleep is deep. The people of the past are resting now. They have survived the winter. They have seen the first wagon, and they are content. You can be content too. Let the warmth of the spring dream wrap around you. Let the sound of the melting snow carry you away. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to see. The season has turned, and it is time to let go. The earth, the log, the light, the breath, the rest, the sleep, the now. The morning will come, but it is many hours away. The night is your sanctuary. The past is your pillow. Sleep now. In the soft light of the thaw. Sleep now. In the quiet of the clearing. Sleep now. In the heart of the spring. Softly, slowly, quietly, peace, rest. Now, the wagon wheels are still. The oxen are at rest. The seeds are in the bowl. The fire is in the ash. The breath is in the lungs. The sleep is in the soul. The frontier is a memory. The blizzard is a ghost. The spring is a promise. The rest is a host. The dark is a blanket. The dream is a coast. The snow, the mud, the sun, the rest, the sleep, the one. The story is ending. The rest is beginning. The world of 1793 is drifting away into the mists of time, into the shadows of the woods. You are left with only the silence and the warmth and the deep, deep sleep. Hush, 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 the golden stillness. A frontier midsummer in the 18th century. Hello, guys. Today we will know about the heavy, golden warmth of a frontier summer. We have traveled through the biting blizzards and the muddy thaws, and now the year 1793 has reached its peak. The sun is a slow, generous guest in the sky. This narration is designed to help you relax deeply, to help you feel the weight of a warm, quiet afternoon as it turns into a velvet evening. There is a gentle mystery in the hum of the cicadas, a small, quiet suspense in the way the tall grass bows before a warm breeze, but you are safe. You are held by the earth, and there is no need to hurry. Let the golden light of the past fill your mind. As you drift toward a peaceful sleep, the setting is our small clearing on the edge of the great wilderness. But the world has changed since the winter. The gray skeletons of the trees are now heavy with deep green leaves. The air is thick and sweet. It smells of clover, hot pine needles, and the wild honey that hides in the hollow oaks. The sun sits high in a sky of endless blue, and the heat is a physical presence, a soft, warm hand pressing against the earth. And you are becoming very, very tired. The paths between the log cabins are dry and dusty. The dark mud of the spring has baked into a pale, cracked earth. In the heat of the day, the air shimmers over the ground, creating a soft blur at the edge of the forest. There is no fog now, only the golden haze of midsummer. The cabins are silent, their doors and windows thrown wide to catch the slightest breath of air. The shadows inside are deep and cool, a sanctuary from the brilliance of the sun. The houses are quiet. The thick pine logs that kept out the frost now keep out the heat. Inside, the air is still and smells of dry wood and bundles of drying herbs. Peppermint, yarrow, and sage hang from the rafters, their leaves turning crisp in the warm air. There is no fire in the hearth today. It has been moved to a small outdoor kitchen to keep the house cool. The stone fireplace is a dark, silent cavern, its stones holding the coolness of the earth. The floors are swept clean of the winter rushes. The split logs feel smooth and warm under bare feet. The family moves with a deliberate slowness. They have learned that in the heat, every movement must be measured. They sit on the shaded porch, the wood creaking softly as they shift their weight. The rhythm of the day is the rhythm of the sun, slow, steady, and unrelenting. The shadows are your friends, and they are growing longer. Clothing is light and thin. The heavy wool is packed away in cedar chests. People wear simple linen shifts and tunics. The fabric is pale and worn. It has been bleached by the sun and softened by 100 washings. The linen is cool against the skin. It breathes with the body. There is a comfort in the lightness of the cloth. It feels like a second skin. The movements of the family are fluid, like water flowing over stones. The meals are light and fresh. A wooden bowl of cool milk and blackberries gathered from the edge of the woods. The berries are dark and sweet, bursting with the taste of the summer sun. There is bread baked in the outdoor oven, served cold with a slice of pale cheese. The wooden spoon makes a soft, rhythmic sound against the bowl, a quiet percussion in the stillness of the afternoon. Every bite is a reminder of the earth's generosity. The children spend their days in the tall grass. They are not gathering wood now. They are gathering the gifts of the summer. They search for wild strawberries, their small hands stained red with the juice. They watch the dragonflies hover over the creek, their wings vibrating with a low, metallic hum. Their chores are gentle, fetching water from the cool depths of the well, or tending to the garden beds where the corn is already taller than their heads. Work in the summer is a steady, rhythmic labor. The men are in the fields, their scythes moving through the tall grass with a rhythmic swish, swish, swish. It is the sound of the harvest to come. The grass falls in long, neat rows. The scent of the cut hay is overwhelming and sweet. It fills the lungs and relaxes the mind. The men work until the sun begins to dip, their muscles tired and satisfied. They know the value of the heat. The transport in summer is easier, but slower. The wagons move along dry roads, sending up small clouds of fine dust. The oxen move with a heavy, swinging gait, their bells tinkling softly in the distance. It is a lonely, beautiful sound, a signal of life in the vast green sea of the wilderness. The world moves at the pace of a heartbeat. There is no rush. The summer will last as long as it must. The evening begins with the fading of the heat. The air becomes soft and liquid. The sun sinks behind the pines, painting the sky in shades of peach, violet, and gold. This is the time of the fireflies. They appear at the edge of the woods, tiny, pulsing lanterns of green light. They move in a silent, erratic dance, a celebration of the night. The family gathers on the porch, watching the light fade. Their voices are hushed, a low, comforting murmur. The beds are no longer filled with heavy robes. The buffalo skins have been replaced by thin linen sheets and light wool blankets. The corn husk mattresses are cool and dry. The husks make a soft, whispering sound as you settle in. SHH. SHH. It is a sound like the wind in the wheat. You lie by the window, letting the cool night air wash over you. The crickets have begun their nightly song, a steady, rhythmic chirping that fills the dark. Outside, the wilderness is a dark, breathing garden. The trees are silent, their leaves heavy with dew. A barred owl calls from the deep woods, a long questioning who cooks for you. The sound carries through the still air, a lonely but familiar sentinel. The cabins are safe islands in the green. The thick walls are a barrier between the wild and the sleep. You are warm, but not hot. You are safe, but not confined. The nights are shorter, but deeper. The darkness is a warm, velvet cloak. The people do not fight the heat of the day. They rest within the cool of the night. They dream of the harvest, of the golden corn and the heavy pumpkins. But the dreams are slow and hazy, like the mist rising from the creek. The mind wanders through the sun-drenched fields, finding peace in the abundance. The clearing is now a place of silver and shadow. The moon is a large, golden coin hanging over the cabins. It reflects off the dry grass, making the field look like a sea of light. The frost of winter is a forgotten memory. The mud of spring is a distant thought. There is only the heat, the growth, and the stillness, and you are looking at it all through the veil of your own rest. The houses of the summer are open and airy. The scent of the pine needles on the floor is dry and sharp. The wind moves through the room, carrying the smell of the forest night. The floorboards are warm to the touch, holding the memory of the afternoon sun. The simplicity of the home is its greatest strength. There is nothing to distract from the rhythm of the breath. Clothing is left in a heap by the bed. The body is free and light. Children sleep in their linen shifts, their limbs tangled together like vines. The warmth of the night is a comfort, a reminder that the world is kind. Their small heartbeats are a steady rhythm in the dark. a pulse that matches the chirping of the crickets. They are growing while they sleep. The morning will bring the scythe and the garden, but that is many hours away. The time between midnight and dawn is a sacred time of fullness. The world of the frontier is a world of cycles. The cycle of the growth and the cycle of the rest. You breathe in the sweet summer air. You breathe out the day's labor. The rhythm is steady. The rhythm is slow. The secrets of the summer are found in the stillness, the way the dew forms on the cabbage leaves, the way the hawk circles in the heat, the way the fireflies vanish when the moon rises. These are the facts of life for the ordinary family. They have worked hard, and now they are reaping the peace of the season. There is a profound satisfaction in the silence as the narration continues. Let your mind drift like a seed on the wind. Let the images of the golden fields and the green woods fade. You are sitting on the porch in your mind. The wood is warm beneath you. The fireflies are dancing. You feel the cool air of the evening on your face. The world is closing in. The circle of light is fading and fading and fading. The history of the frontier is a history of growth. They grew with the corn. They strengthened with the sun. They mended their tools. They stored their grain. They waited for the evening, and as the evening came, they slept a deep, satisfied sleep. You can share in that sleep now. The work of the day is done. The scythe is leaning against the wall. The stars above the clearing are soft and distant. The summer sky is vast and deep. The Milky Way is a river of light flowing through the center of the world. The stars do not twinkle tonight. They glow with a steady, quiet light. They watch the sleeping cabins. They watch the waving grass. And they watch you. The warm breeze picks up. It rustles the leaves of the corn. It brings the scent of the distant pines into the room. The wind is a gentle hand. It cannot hurt you. It only makes the linen feel cooler. It only makes the straw mattress feel softer. The sound of the wind is a lullaby, a rhythmic whispering that lulls the senses. It is the sound of the earth dreaming. The children are deep in sleep. Their hands are tucked under their cheeks. They dream of climbing trees and swimming in the cool creek. The cabin is silent, save for the steady song of the crickets. The house is warm. The house is safe. The house is at peace. The wood moves slightly as the temperature drops. A slow, rhythmic creak. It is the house settling for the night. Just as you are settling, the farmer is asleep. The mother is asleep. The traveler is asleep. Their tools are laid aside. The scythe is still. The needle is dry. The settlement is a collective of resting souls. They are bound together by the heat and the dark. They are a community of breath, and in this community, there is no worry. There is only the passage of time, the slow, inevitable march toward the dawn. The grass continues to wave in the dark. It covers the tracks of the deer. It hides the garden. It smooths out the rough edges of the world. It makes everything look soft. The grass is a blanket for the earth. It protects the life within the soil. It is a warm embrace and a beautiful one. The earth is sleeping, too. The narration is slowing down. The words are becoming sparse. The images are blurring into a soft golden mist. The frontier of 1793 is drifting away. into the pages of history, into the shadows of the past. You are left with only the feeling of the light linen, the scent of the clover, and the rhythm of the breathing. The summer is heavy, but the sleep is light. The fields are hidden, the hearth is cold, the linen is soft, the night is long, the stars are gentle, the wind is a sigh, the log is warm, the heart is still, the world is safe, the dark is calm, the hour